Okay, so today I have Nicola Turner, and I've had the pleasure of meeting Nicola a few times, and she is a financial advisor. And please tell me your story. How did you get into it? And I've been really looking forward to having you on because I think it's something that's so important for people, and we just don't think about it when it comes to finances. So thank you for being here, Nicola.
Oh, well, thank you, Emma. I was so excited to be asked to come on because, like you say, lots of people don't talk about money and it is so important. So, this is my first ever podcast. So, really, really excited to be on. So, again, thank you for the opportunity. So, yeah, like I said, my name is Nicola Turner, and my company is Nicola Turner Financial Planning, and I am a financial advisor. So this is quite a big career change for myself. So I was a maths teacher for quite a few years. And as time was going on, I just lost the love for teaching. And I think when you're a teacher, it's not fair on yourself or the students if you don't have that passion or the love anymore, which I didn't. So I thought, right, okay, I hit 40 and I thought, right, let's do something different. So I thought, well, what can I do? What do I like? And I'm really, really passionate about helping people. Obviously, I love maths. I've got my maths degree, so I love figures and numbers and calculations. So I thought, well, financial advisor will be perfect for me because obviously we've got the financial side, the math side, but also I can go out and I can help so many people, which I love. So that the journey started just over a year ago, and I decided to join St James's Place. So St James's Place is the largest wealth management company in the UK, and they offer or an academy. So it's a 6 month process. It's probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. So you have to pass six very big external exams to get your qualification, and then obviously go through lots of observations, lots of training to make sure you're up to the job. So that's what I did. I left the academy in August last year, and I thought, right, let's go big or go home. And I decided to launch my own business, which is obviously Nicola Turner Financial Planning, and I am a partner practice of St James's Place.
That's amazing. See, I love numbers, so I completely get it. But I know there's a lot of people that probably think you're mad. I do absolutely love numbers. I couldn't have done a degree in it. I couldn't do what you're doing. But for people that are scared of numbers, what's sort of your advice? What would you say to people that haven't looked at their finances before? Keep it in the background because it's too scary to look at, and think if they look at it, it's just going to get worse or it will become a reality.
Yeah, the main thing is just to get some advice, speak to somebody because a problem isn't going to go away if we bury our head in the sand. So there's lots of financial advisors out there, lots of people you can talk to, even other companies like you've got things like Citizens Advice. You can go to places like that if you don't feel comfortable going to see a financial advisor. But my main thing is if you have any worries, any concerns, or just any questions with regards to your finance, it's really, really important that you speak to somebody. So people like myself, I'm very, very passionate about helping women in particular. So there's actually only 16% of all financial advisors are female. So I'm very, very proud to be a female financial advisor, and I'm really, really passionate about helping women, especially with their finances. So I really want to help empower women to take control of their finances. And I can help with things like just sitting down and having a look, seeing what's going on, maybe help with a bit of budgeting, and then look at things like savings, investments, retirement planning, protection, and things like that. But yeah, like I said, I've spoke to lots of clients. And they've said to me, Nicola, I don't want to see a male stereotypical financial advisor. And for for some women that's just the case because maybe they've gone through separation, divorce, maybe they've gone through, domestic violence, and they don't necessarily want to see that male advisor. So, like I said, I'm really, really pleased that I'm able to fill that gap and offer the services that I do to so many women, which is great.
Yeah, that's a really important point because it is an industry just saturated with men, isn't it? I know my financial advisor, I use him because he was my nan, so he's sort of come down and he's really down to earth. But I remember the first time I met him and I felt I should be very prim and proper around him. Now, when I speak to him, we talk about drones and all sorts. Like it's just, but I loved what you said when we were networking, that you said you just like go round, have a cup of tea, just chat. It's all relaxed. And
Definitely. I really want it to be as informal as it possibly can because like we said, so many people they're nervous about talking about their finances. They could be possibly a little bit embarrassed, thinking, "Oh my gosh, I've got myself into a bit of a mess. I don't know what to do." And I just want them to be as comfortable as they possibly can. That's why I think it's important that I offer to do my meetings wherever they're comfortable. So if it means going to their house, then I like to do that. Especially with women, I just go in, I say, right, let's pop the kettle on, let's have a cuppa, let's have a biscuit, and let's just see what's going on. Obviously, I'm just there to help, and I get so much out of helping people. I absolutely love doing the job I do. My only regret is I didn't do it sooner.
yeah, I think working with kids, I don't know if I could have coped for long.
Yeah, I think as I got older, when I got into my 40s, my patience wasn't quite where it was when I started off in my 20s. So it was a good time for me to leave the profession and do something else.
Brilliant. And do you do it online as well?
Yeah, definitely. So whatever fits the client best. So I think that's one great thing that has come out of COVID is, all our online, so Zoom, Teams, if you prefer that. We've also got an office in Cardiff City Centre that we can go to. For some people, just like to have a coffee chat in a coffee shop, which again is also fine. The way I work with my clients, so all our initial meetings are completely no obligation. So you've got nothing to lose by coming and having an appointment with myself. We just kind of sit down, find out what's going on, look at where you are now, where you'd like to be in the future, and then we look at if there's any gaps, and if there are any gaps, and then we look at ways and things we can do to close the gaps and then make your hopes, dreams, and goals, dreams become a reality. So yeah. What I also do, which is very, very, very good and very powerful, is something called cash flow modeling. And again, this is a service I offer completely free of charge for people. So again, if they just wanted to sit down and take part in a cash flow modeling, that's something that we can do. And the cash flow modeling really helps clients understand and better organize their finances. So it really allows a client to visualize their finances. So we take a look at where they are now, where they'd like to be in the future, and it gives a very, very clear picture about if they are where they need to be. So, for example, we could put all the figures in, and they could go, right, my plan is to retire at 65, and then we type it into the system. Everything comes up blue, which means you're on track. It's like brilliant. And then we can have a look, well, could you retire at 60? And then it'll tell us if we can retire at 60. If any reds come up, that means there's a shortfall. The cash flow modeling will tell us or give us an idea what we need to do to close the gaps or close the shortfalls. So it's very, very powerful. We can put all sorts of information in there. So things like your goals. So say, for example, You're really, really passionate about sending your children to university, then we can pop those in there. Maybe you're like myself and you like to travel and you think, right, when I'm 50, I'm going to go on a big Caribbean cruise. We can put things like that in there. So we put everything to do with your financial situation into the system, and it really gives you a real clear picture about where you are. And if you are on track, and obviously if you aren't on track, then we can pop some actions in place to make sure you are, which is really, really good.
I really like that idea. Yeah, seeing things can make it so much clearer, can't it, than just talking about it? Because you can talk till the cows come home, but sometimes you just can't see how that'll work. But when it's on paper or on the screen in front of you, it can make so much more sense.
Definitely. You think if we go to buy a car, we walk into the showroom, you can see it, you can smell it, it's got a lovely colour, you can sit inside, you can drive it. But when it comes to finances, if we think about our retirement pot, we can't really see it, we can't feel it. So this is where the cash flow modelling is fantastic because it's quite tangible, you can see it. And some people think they're on track and we do it and they're like, gee whiz, I need to do something and I need to do something sharpish, which is fine because there's lots of things we can do. If a client finds themselves they're in a situation, then they're not on track. So I'll give you an example. So I was doing some research recently. So the average pension pot at the moment for a 50-year-old man is about £100,000. But for a woman, it's about 61,600. Now, that might sound like a lot of money, but when you think we're living for a lot longer, you think we want to retire 60, 65, maximum maybe 68, 70. Well, we're living a lot longer than what we used to. So that money has to last a long time. So I was having a little look, what would you need for like a moderate lifestyle? And according to some research, a moderate lifestyle, you're looking about £600,000 in your pension pot, which lots of people don't have. But there's things, the key is if you start early, we can do something about it. So I'll give you an example how a fund can grow. So say, for example, we'll take the 50-year-old man who had a pot of £100,000. If they put that into an investment and it growed at 5% per year for 20 years, that would be worth £270,000. However, if you put it into an investment that grew at 8% over 20 years, that £100,000 would be worth just short of £500,000. So, so over double. So that's why speaking to a financial advisor can be really, really useful and beneficial because, especially with pension funds or pension pots, everybody has a pension. But so many people don't understand the pension. They don't know where the funds are invested. They don't know if it's associated with their risk profile. So, say, for example, they might be a moderate or an adventurous risk profile, and it may be in a low risk and a conservative fund. Some people don't even know their pension policy numbers, which, I think is crazy, but I kind of get it. People are busy and people, you know what it's like. You get your pension statement at the end of the year. You go, right, okay, it's definitely something I need to look at. You pop it into the drawer and you go, right, it's on my to-do list. And then before you know it, a year's gone by and you get the pension statement again. So it's really, really good. Again, that's something I really help lots of clients with, is just finding out. First of all, some people don't even know where their pensions are, so I can help find and track their pensions. And then once we know what their pensions are or where they are, we can take a good look. We can find out what funds it's invested in. So, for example, is it invested overseas? Is it here? Is it in equities? Is it bonds? Is it cash? And then we can have a really, really good look to see if that fund really aligns with their objectives. And if it doesn't, then obviously we can have a conversation and take it from there because Quite a staggering statistic is more people track their steps than they track their pensions, which is believable because lots of people now they've got their iPhones on and other iPhones or iWatch, Apple Watch, sorry, so I know every time I go for a walk, I pop my tracker on and see how many steps I've done. But surprisingly, only 18% of people actually track their pensions. And you think of an adult person, their working life. So on average, people change their jobs every 4 to 5 years. And that equates to having, on average, 11 jobs in total. Well, you think some people might have 11 different pension pots here, there, and everywhere, and they've got no idea what's going on. So, again, that's something I'm really, really passionate about helping people with because it can really make a difference to their retirement. So, if you do have any listeners out there thinking, oh gosh, that's me, I don't know what's going on with my pension. I've got five, six pensions. I don't know who they're with. I don't know what's going on. Then again, that's something we can look at. And again, like I said, all my initial investigation is completely no obligation. So I go away, I do the work, I find out what's going on. And then it's only if I find that it's not maybe appropriate for the client or I can think of a better alternative, then obviously that's what I advise. And then it's completely down to the client. They can either say, oh my gosh, sounds brilliant, let's go for it. And if they do, then obviously they're provided with a personal illustration, details in like cost, charges, risks, etc. But they might say, do you know what, Nick, sounds great, but it's not for me. That again is totally fine. So I think the key message I'm trying to get out there is talk to us, and you've got nothing to lose by just sitting down and having that conversation.
Absolutely. And I think it wasn't until I spoke to somebody, until I realized how important it was to talk to somebody about it. Um, and I know my pensions, because I loved temping when I was younger. So I couldn't tell you how many jobs I've had. And I'd have like a couple of £100 here, a couple of £100 there. I had so many pensions.
Yeah,
Um, it was just unreal. And I would just laugh because it would come through and I'd think, well, people of like our age and younger, God only knows when we'll get to retire. I don't know what the pension age they'll decide it will be when
exactly.
we get around that age. But I keep looking at them and thinking that probably wouldn't be enough for a Mars bar by the time we get to
I
our pension
know.
age, you
I
know.
know, I know. And who knows what's going to happen with the state pension? There's no certainty there. We don't know how much it's going to be. We don't know what it's always increasing the retired state retirement age. So I think it's really, really, really important that we have extra provisions in place just to make sure we can survive and live comfortably when we get to retirement because we work hard in our working lives, don't we? So I think it's important that we can have a nice retirement.
Brilliant. That is so, so helpful. And yeah, just I really again want to stress the importance of how important it is. And I didn't realize, I just overlooked it until I spoke to somebody. So I think it's so important. And that you're a female in the industry, I think is absolutely fantastic because, again, I think with women, they don't want to speak so much about it. So, so, so important. Thank
I
you
think
for
it's
what you do.
more, I think it's more so important or equally, but I think with women, we're the ones who have babies. We're the ones who take time off on maternity. We're generally the ones who, if we do go back to work, we either stay at home to look after our children, or if we go back to work, quite often we might go down on part-time salaries, so part-time hours. We get paid less. Our pension funds are generally less. And, I was looking just a few weeks ago at like the divorce rates, and sadly, so many marriages now do end up in divorce, and it's the women who tend to end up worse off. So again, that's another. I work with lots of family law solicitors to really help women if they are going through that situation and they do need a chat about their finances. Then again, that's something I'm really passionate about, and I really want to help as many women as I possibly can. Which is yeah.
Definitely. I think that's fantastic. And so tell us again the name of your business, where we can find you. And
So
I'll put it all in the
my
podcast description as well.
That's me. So my company is Nicola Turner Financial Planning. I am based in Cardiff. However, I've got clients all over. Um, if you pop my contact details on, that'll be amazing. Something I will say, if we do have any women in the Cardiff area listening, I do have a free event on, it's 2 weeks today, on the 5th of February. It's up in Whitchurch Golf Club in Whitchurch. Completely free event. I've called it Finance and Fizz. So it's a really informal event where you can come along, have a glass of bubbly, obviously coffee and tea as well if you want it. And it's an evening of, well, the aim is for me to help empower females to take control of their finances. So if anybody would like to come on along, like I said, it's a completely free event. Starts at 6:30 on the 5th of Feb. Would love to see as many women there as possible because obviously the more women I can help, the better. But again, that's all on my social media. So yeah, if you could pop my details on, that would be amazing.
What a fantastic idea. I love that. That is such a great idea where everybody's in the room for the same reason. So there's no reason to be shy about it. And yeah, just chat. What a fantastic idea.
Yeah, and a glass of bubbly, which I love. So,
That's
so
it.
yeah, so the bubbly's a bonus, but it just makes it nice and informal. And like you say, everybody in the room, you're around like-minded people. It's purely educational. It's not a sales pitch at all. It's just there, because I have got this genuine passion to help as many women as I possibly can. So very excited about that event, 2 weeks today.
Nicola, you're a superstar, and thank you so much for agreeing to do this. I really wanted to get somebody on to talk about money, and especially with you working with females, makes it, I don't want to say more important, but it's like a niche, isn't it? It's very
Definitely.
specialized with, as you said, 16% of financial advisors are female. So I think that's amazing what you do, and thank you for everything.
Thank you very much. That was great.